Smisha Erin, and I am a horticulturalist with Cúlra Créafóige. So we are located in the Donegal Gaeltacht along the Wild Atlantic Way, and we count 2 SPAs and an SAC within our boundaries. We have an unimaginably rich cultural heritage rooted in both agriculture and language. But the CSO details high levels of unemployment and extremely high levels of young adult emigration, leading to a disproportionately aging demographic. Slide that all. So you see soils in the area are marginal at best. Patrick, could you change the slide there? Thanks. And conditions here are harsh, but this has never stopped the local farmers in the past. What has happened is that area farms, which would have been highly diversified, mixed tillage and animal enterprise, and which were nearly self-sufficient, requiring very few external inputs, are now dominated by single enterprise sheep or cattle production. Now, a 2017 survey carried out on lands in one of the local SPAs found that less than 1% of the land was under cultivation, less than 1%. And this loss of cultivation and farm enterprise diversification has led to farms which may not have the resilience needed to survive climate change, market upheavals, pandemics, and emerging carbon restrictions. So the primary challenges we face here are securing economic viability for the region's farms, rejuvenating the area's rural enterprise, and regenerating ecologically critical habitat created by tillage. But what we see is policy being written which promotes enterprise consolidation and specialization, and which relies on tillage research that's conducted in soils and climate unrecognizable to those around here. So ultimately what we're seeing is policy that encourages this country's dependence on imports, synthetic fertilizers, pesticides, the majority of our horticultural foodstuffs, animal feeds, and so on. Slide that all. So we're using regenerative agriculture and enterprise diversification to support the development of economically viable small farm enterprise. Now, making a profit is crucial, but we cannot continue to do it at the expense of our air, our water, and our soil. So everything we do is done with ecological sustainability in mind. And then, following a whole systems approach, we are also investigating and developing modern novel crop markets to drive the demand for cultivation, because there's no use growing it if you can't sell it. And to ensure our findings are shared with the community, we are producing region-specific manuals which blend traditional local expertise with modern traditional technique. So these manuals will facilitate knowledge transfer so that participants and all interested individuals will be more likely to continue tillage activities beyond the scope of the project. Slide that all. Now, we currently have 23 sites and will be adding more every year, and we are investigating 9 different crops. Slide that all. Unfortunately, as we are still early in the project and cropping data is not yet available, what we can say has been highly successful so far is our participant training. This is subsidized training in things like ecology, farm to fork enterprise, food tourism, etc. Next slide, please, Patrick. So additionally, crops produced on this year's fields will initiate our market testing, matching our project grown crops with regional niche markets and artisan producers. And we will be generating direct cost comparisons between imported and farm generated feeds and fodder. Now, I'd have to say we are quite lucky because all of these works are supported by a range of the parish's youth, between volunteers, children of participants, and teenagers who have joined our youth work experience program. We've had fantastic support from the young ones, because it doesn't matter what innovations we pursue or what solutions we come up with. If the next generation is not interested, farming in the region will fail. But what we see is that the young ones are interested, they just need to be reached. Slide let all. Now, these issues aren't unique to us. We aren't the only ones with decreasing populations, threatened ecosystems, and socioeconomic uncertainty. These trends are clearly visible along the entire western coast of Ireland, and we hope that the measures we are taking in this project will be expanded to all the other corners of this country. Because there is hope. Diversified, regenerative, small farm enterprise can be profitable. It can be self-sustaining, having a positive and lasting effect on habitat creation, regional tourism and enterprise, on population stabilization, and the cultural survival of Gaeltacht regions. So these mixed enterprise smallholdings would be a viable solution to the economic, ecological and heritage crises being faced by all of the marginal areas across Ireland, and policies must be written to support them. Gur míle maith.